And the thing is, like, a lot of people don't even understand or realize that this is happening at the time, because most people are working as employees. You're transparent with the people that you work with. You need to let them know how you're feeling so that they can change their actions and adjust their being to come in sync. That she was the tabernacle of unseen marvels. She began taking care of her face and her body so carefully that her starved youth seemed to bloom. Whatever field of business or personal things that you work on, it doesn't matter. So one day, Martin Fitzgerald was this dentist, right? And he was shocked when one of his patients pointed out to him his metal cup holder that she was using to rinse her mouth was not very clean. And it's kind of true that the patient drank from a paper cup, not the holder, but it was certainly not professional to use sort of tarnished equipment and dirty equipment. And so when the patient left, this guy, his doctor, retreated into his private office, and he comes down to his desk, and he's got his desk right here. And he's also got sort of all these patient chairs where he would help people and he would give them sort of their dental work. I mean, you guys know what a dentist's office looks like, but the challenge was like, it wasn't particularly clean in some of these specific parts over here. So he comes into his office and he writes a note to his chairwoman who came like twice a week to clean his office. And on this note, he wrote, and here's the important part because this is the psychological message. My dear Bridget, I see you so seldom. I thought I'd take the time to thank you for the fine job of cleaning you've been doing. By the way, I thought I'd mention that since 2 hours twice a week is a very limited amount of time, please feel free to work an extra half hour from time to time if you feel you need those extra once in a while things to get polished or cleaned, like the cup holders and the like. I, of course, will pay you for the extra time. And he just casually suggests that she does stuff, the cup holders, just as a casual once in a while, not a big deal thing. And notice how he starts off with praise, and then he says, you have a very hard job, I appreciate you. And then feel free to just do this once in a while thing, not a big deal. And obviously, you don't compensate her. Now the key here is that he doesn't say, I want you to do extra things and clean extra things. Instead he says, I appreciate you, you're doing awesome, and just such a powerful, compassionate, empathetic, and caring man. And the next day when he walked into his office, his desk was polished to a mirror-like finish. And his chair, he nearly slid off it because it was so clean. And when he went into the treatment room, he found the shiniest, cleanest, chrome-plated cup holder he had ever seen nestled in its receptacle, because he had given his cleaning lady a fine reputation to live up to. And because of this small gesture, she outperformed all her past effort. And how much additional time did she spend on this? None at all. Because in reality, people just need the belief and the confidence and the conviction, and they will perform more and do more and be more for you. It's an old saying, give a dog a bad name and you may as well hang him. But give a dog a good name and see what happens. And what's cool is when Miss Ruth Hopkins was a fourth grade teacher in Brooklyn, she was looking at this principle and applying this on the roster on the first day of school. And she was excited, she was joyous, she was so happy to start this new term, and she was just super fun, tingling with anxiety. And in her class, she was gonna have this guy named Tommy, who was sort of the school's notorious bad boy, and his third grade teacher had constantly complained about Tommy to college. And think about this, right? If you have, you're a kid or you have a student or whatever, and the teacher is always complaining with other teachers about how awful, how terrible, how mean, how bad this kid is, then what do you think is gonna do to that kid? It's gonna make him feel crap. Like, it's gonna make him want to live up to that name of being the bad kid. And it's gonna make him want to act poorly. And it's just an awful thing to do to somebody, because it crushes their ability to grow and have confidence and succeed. Remember when I was in high school, I had this one teacher, and he would constantly say that I had dumb questions, and it was the worst ever. And he would literally say, you can only ask 3 things in the class and then you're done because it's stupid or whatever. And it was the meanest thing ever. That's the only person who did it to. And he would talk about other people, about how I had dumb, and it was just so harsh, so tough to think about. And it got to the point where he would literally give me 3 sticky notes, and we were in these seats, these desks, or these wooden desks. I put 3 sticky notes on my desk. I was kind of towards the front of the class because I wanted to learn the material. And we were sitting in this statistics class, and every time I'd ask a question, pick up a sticky note, pick up a sticky note, pick up a sticky note. Then when they were gone, he just wouldn't answer, wouldn't respond, wouldn't even care about anything I had to say. And it totally crushed the respect and the connection and the development between us, but most significantly, it was just a really tough thing to work through. And I remember, you guys remember earlier, I kind of got forced to take a statistics class because I signed up for classes late, and I had to take more classes, and I literally applied to 800 classes, and there were none available except for statistics and this English class thing. And I was in that statistics class, and in the other statistics class, I really studied and really tried to get, a 5 on the AP exam, which is the best way you can get. And I remember coming in here, I was like, God, this is dumb. I already know this. I'd literally taken the exact same class already. And I remember on the first day of class, Like, I had lost so much respect for my old teacher in statistics that with my new teacher, like, for the first couple of days, I treated him really, really poorly, and I feel awful looking back at it. It was totally disrespectful and arrogant and mean, because those are the kind of feelings that I had towards this other person. And it's awful because you can literally transform someone's entire emotional state and the perception of others if you give them a bad name. So it's so critical that you give a dog a good name. You tell people that they're the best, they're quality, and inspire them to go out and serve others and perform at their highest peak potential, not the other end of the spectrum. So it's cool to see this applied here with this kid in Cool. And he wasn't just a mischievous kid, but he also caused serious discipline problems in class, and he picked fights with the boys, teased the girls, and was fresh to the teacher, and he seemed to get worse and worse as he grew older. His only redeeming feature was his ability to learn rapidly and master his schoolwork easily. And so you want to focus again on the positives and praise the positives more than anything else. And so this teacher decided to face the Tommy problem immediately. And when she greeted her new students, she made a little comment next to each of them. She said, "Rose, that's a pretty dress you're wearing. I'm gonna point out the positive thing about you. Alicia, I heard you draw beautifully. I want to point out the positive thing about you and praise it." And when she came around to Tommy, she looked him straight in the eye and said, "Tommy, I understand you're a natural leader. I'm gonna depend on you to help me make this class the best class in 4th grade this year." She reinforced this over the first few days by complimenting Tommy every single time we did something awesome, and he commented on how he showed up and was leading people and was communicating, and how he was just such a great student. Instead of listening to all the other crap other people were saying about him, she found the positives and she praised them over and over and over again. And with a reputation to live up to, even a 9-year-old couldn't let her down. And he didn't. He excelled and he helped her, and it transformed his personality to be a positive quality guy instead of a troublemaker. And so if you want to excel in difficult leadership roles and change the attitude and behavior of others, it all comes down to giving others a fine reputation to live up to. If you want to inspire better performance out of people you're working with, talk about them like they are legends, like they are gods, like they're the greatest people on the planet, and they will fulfill that destiny in a snap. Very powerful concept. So I hope you get a ton of value out of this module. Go out there, apply it, absolutely crush it, and I will see you in the next module. Thank you. Bye.